Yeah. This is Jeremy Street. Back.
Yet despite everything to his mother, Judas wasn't budged from her continued explanation. As once or so, to the six, if it was real or suspicion surely, most always would be trouble she keeps.
What do you have in your drinks? Nothing in the truck at all? Is it a I'm taking you out! We got one company here that's Get it. Appreciate your patience with us. I know there's a lot going on here.
Takes charge. After studying the situation completely, he turns to Julissa and begins his questioning. Tension rises and she starts demanding clarity, unaware his next move is entirely out of her hands.
Your cameras just keep the witness stage crash and the fire from on their side. You get a window shot on him. So he's just right there. It's like a possible.
Designed to detect the vehicle. Mission. Whenever her and background. Plus, his job Julissa. Others stable to examine
Your thoughts on this? Check the trunk and have this terrible feeling about the trunk. So, I don't know
if special. Detectives finally decide to look for trouble. The shooting is starting immediately side, both turn the pace at the same time.
So we had the safety checklist thing. There's a shotgun, right? And that is like this. Alright, that's alright.
Instantly lighting up the truck, detectives met with a shocking sight. A young boy's body, his head gone. An image far beyond anything he expected to see.
Yeah, we're here right now. Maybe it's on y'all. Okay, so get there. You enter all the staff into the front.
It's that moment to this room is the famous state Jules versions as artists as one team versus the show gas station while the others back to apartments. This time, we run handcuffs. Detectives step inside the apartment. They notice that Julissa is vanished. Detectives don't resist. They start moving through their apartment. They are told something that explains the horror which is discovered. And as the movie moves, one detail about it grabs their attention.
Security of where the United States has reviewed intelligence and surveillance operations over the past period and decentralized following recent airspace targeting Oscar-free to militants in the Sokoto state that flies the tracking date on Saturday showing they operate aircraft conducting a reconnaissance mission over the state. A non-responded insurgent groups the aircraft identified as a special team surveillance and fact-finding.
In the last week of December 2025, it looked like the U.S.'s only target has become Nigeria. After recent airstrikes, it's being fought from the dense trees of Sambisa Forest, a region long known as the stronghold for militants. It was an American aircraft that started flying in slow, repeated circles. It wasn't dropping bombs. It wasn't transporting troops. It was watching. It is clear the United States resumed surveillance flights over Sambisa Forest, restarting a mission designed to track fighters in Islamic State. To many, it looks like just another military move. But in reality, it signals a deeper phase of an expanding counterinsurgent campaign, one that's shifting from explosions on the ground to eyes in the sky, hunting for what comes next. Should we expect another attack? Let's find out.
Hey, what's up? Yep.
It started quietly,
See you
the way
later.
most big operations do. On the morning of December 27, 2025, flight tracking websites picked up an unusual signal over northeast Nigeria. A jet had entered Nigerian airspace from the west and wasn't heading to any airport. Instead, it slowed down over Borno State and began drawing wide, looping circles above a stretch of land most people never want to think about, Sambisa Forest. At first glance, it looked like a glitch. Planes don't usually fly like that unless something is wrong. But this wasn't a distressed aircraft. It kept circling, smooth, controlled, deliberate, hour after hour. To anyone familiar with aerial patterns, it was obvious. This plane wasn't traveling. It was hunting. As more eyes turned to the trackers, details became clearer. The aircraft was a Gulfstream 5, a jet that, in civilian life, carries Canadian diplomats. But this one wasn't heading to Lagos or Abuja. It was loitering above one of the most dangerous militant zones in West Africa. By midday, Nigerian media began confirming what analysts already suspected. The United States had resumed intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance flights over Sambisa Forest. The mission had been active for weeks, paused briefly, and now it was back. That pause mattered. For a full day before this flight appeared, Sambisa's sky had gone silent. No visible ISR tracks, nothing. Then suddenly, right after Christmas, the plane returned. The timing felt intentional. People who follow conflict zones knew something else had just happened. Airstrikes in Sokoto State, hundreds of kilometers away, where U.S. backed forces hit ISIS-linked camps. And as soon as those strikes ended, the watcher returned to Sambisa. On the ground, nothing looked different. The forest still stood. Villages still woke up to dust and heat. But above them, something had changed. The sky was no longer empty. This wasn't a one-off flight either. In the hours that
At least set up for the next shift.
Entering from the west, circling Sambisa, then heading back out. And when the next day came,
Go ahead and take the 15 car one.
Almost daily. The routes were consistent. The timing was consistent. The behavior
I'll
was
let you know when
consistent.
15 starts.
This wasn't curiosity. It was routine surveillance. To the average person, a plane in the sky means little. But in places like Sambisa, it means everywhere. It means someone, somewhere, is trying to turn a forest into a map. to trace invisible lines between camps, paths, radios, and people who
Hey,
don't want to be
everybody,
found.
we're going to take a
And
15-minute
suddenly, the
intermission.
story
You can go
wasn't just
ahead
about
and
airstrikes anymore.
skip the
It was
next
about what
15 minutes
happens
of
after
this
the bombs
video,
fall.
or you
Because when a
can
plane keeps coming back to the same
sit down
coast,
here with
day
me
after
on my
day,
break.
it's not asking if something is there. It's asking who is there. So the question now is, what is hidden inside Symbisa Forest that makes the United States keep its eyes fixed on this place? Because hidden inside Symbisa Forest is ISWAP. That's the answer. The Islamic State West Africa province isn't just operating around Symbisa. It has built itself into the forest. Over years of fighting, losing territory, splintering, and regrouping, ISWAP turned this stretch of dense bushland into one of its most reliable sanctuaries. When pressure rises elsewhere, fighters slip back here. When attacks are planned, they often begin here. When wounded need to disappear, they are brought here. That's why the plane keeps coming. From the sky, Symbisa looks like endless green. From inside, it's a maze of narrow paths, hidden clearings, makeshift camps, and routes only locals and militants truly know. Nigerian troops have fought for years to clear it, only to see fighters melt away and reappear.
Most deadliest areas in the United States.
America's cities are supposed to be safe havens, places to raise families, chase dreams, and build futures. But lurking behind bright skylines and tourist brochures are crime stats so staggering they feel unreal. In some of these cities, your odds of being a victim are 1 in 20, and homicides rival war zones. Families live with boarded windows, police scanners as background noise, and water pipes collapsing alongside public trust. This isn't the America you see on postcards. It's the reality no one warns you about. Number 10. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Baton Rouge, the capital of Louisiana, looks charming from a distance. Sitting along the Mississippi River with historic architecture, LSU football energy, and a vibrant cultural mix. But behind the crawfish boils and jazz echoes, crime rates tell a very different story. Baton Rouge reports a violent crime rate of more than 1,300 incidents per 100,000 residents, over 3 times the national average. Assaults, robberies, and shootings aren't confined to one neighborhood either. They ripple across the metro, making safety a daily concern for families. Property crime is also significant, with odds of 1 in 23 of being a victim, meaning cars, bikes, or even porch packages are frequent targets. Housing is affordable on paper, but affordability here comes with trade-offs. The median home price hovers around $240,000, while average rent for a 2-bedroom sits near $1,200. That seems cheaper than many U.S. metros, yet insurance costs are high, especially post-storm, and many neighborhoods suffer from blight, dragging down values. The city's population sits around 225,000, with a larger metro exceeding 870,000. But growth has been flat as many residents quietly move to safer suburbs like Prairieville or Zachary. Economically, Baton Rouge leans heavily on government, petrochemical industries, and Louisiana State University. Median household income is about $47,000, which struggles against rising living costs. Poverty affects nearly 1 in 4 residents, creating pockets of desperation that fuel crime cycles. Combine that with infrastructure challenges, roads riddled with potholes, frequent flooding, and underfunded schools, and it's easy to see why residents describe Baton Rouge as a city of contrast: wealth and poverty, beauty and danger, opportunity and risk. Living here means embracing Southern food, culture, and warm weather, but also installing security cameras and double-checking your car locks. Baton Rouge is a city where resilience is as common as crime. Number 9. Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage is Alaska's largest city, home to about 288,000 people, nearly 40% of the state's population. Tourists imagine moose in backyards, the northern lights glowing above, and glacier-filled adventures. Reality? Anchorage has one of the highest crime rates in the U.S. The violent crime rate sits at nearly 1,200 per 100,000 residents, higher than Detroit. Property crime is even worse, with theft, burglary, and vehicle break-ins topping 4,700 per 100,000. That means your odds of being a victim are about 1 in 18, far above national averages. Living here isn't cheap either. Despite the rugged wilderness image, Anchorage has a median home price near $380,000, and average rent around $1,600 for a two-bedroom. Food and fuel costs are inflated. Groceries can be 40% higher than the U.S. average because nearly everything is shipped or flown in. Utilities climb in winter, and locals spend hundreds per month just staying warm. Anchorage's economy leans on oil, shipping, government, and tourism, but job opportunities are limited compared to major metros. Median household income is around $80,000, but high costs erode that advantage quickly. Seasonal depression is also a challenge. Long, dark winters contribute to mental health struggles, and combined with substance abuse issues, push crime higher. Day to day, Anchorage feels like a paradox. Breathtaking mountain views alongside neighborhoods where catalytic converter theft is a morning routine. Families enjoy hiking trails and salmon fishing, yet they also budget for security cameras and reinforced locks. Police presence exists, but response times are often stretched thin in a city this spread out. Anchorage is proof that beauty can't hide statistics. Here, you can witness a moose wandering across your lawn while discovering your truck window smashed. Nature thrives, but so does crime. Number 8. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Albuquerque, with nearly 565,000 residents, is New Mexico's largest city and sits right on the historic Route 66. Known for hot air balloon festivals, stunning desert sunsets, and southwestern culture, the city
Okay, the goods are loaded in the truck.
struggles that overshadow its beauty. Violent crime in Albuquerque, 1,300, nearly 4 times the U.S. average. Property crime is staggering, over 6,000 per 100,000, among the highest rates in the nation. Residents face a 1 in 15 chance of being victimized by theft, burglary, or car crime in any given year. Housing is affordable compared to coastal metros. The median home price is around $315,000.
We're back, guys.
$1,300. Still, low wages and high crime
Didn't take a
offset
whole 15. Thought I was going to
median household
Back
income
to
hovers
work.
near $55,000.
We're trying to get
Nearly
this management.
19% of residents living below poverty lines. Neighborhoods show stark contrasts. Gentrified downtown lofts sit blocks away from areas plagued by boarded-up homes and drug activity. Economically, Albuquerque depends on government, education, and defense industries, including the nearby Sandia National Laboratories and Kirtland Air Force Base. Healthcare and tourism add
Oh,
jobs.
not so fucking
Many families struggle to keep pace with rising living costs. Day-to-day life in Albuquerque is layered. The city boasts breathtaking mountain hikes, authentic Mexican cuisine, and vibrant art scenes. But many locals double-check locks and avoid certain areas after dark. Car theft here is notoriously rampant, so much so that residents joke about keeping spare hubcaps. Public services work hard, but stretched budgets mean crime continues to overwhelm law enforcement. Albuquerque remains a city of contradictions, cultural richness and natural wonder shadowed by staggering crime rates. It's a place where the sunsets are priceless, but safety often comes with a cost. Number 7. Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore, Maryland, nicknamed Charm City, is home to 570,000 residents and a metro area of nearly 2.8 million. Known for its harbor views, historic roadhouses, and crab feasts, the city also battles one of the most notorious crime reputations in America. Baltimore's violent crime rate exceeds 1,500 per 100,000 residents, about 4 times the U.S. average. Homicide rates remain stubbornly high, often surpassing 300 murders per year, giving residents some of the highest odds of violent crime among major U.S. cities. Property crime is also high, with residents facing a 1 in 21 chance of theft or burglary. The cost of living sits below nearby Washington, D.C., but that comes with trade-offs. The median home price in Baltimore is around $215,000, far lower than D.C.'s $500,000 averages, while rents hover near $1,450. Affordable.
You need something, huh? One of your rides?
Safety concerns,
Let me know.
aging infrastructure,
It's coming at you.
even some neighborhoods, like Fells Point or Federal Hill, thrive with young professionals and tourism, while others grapple with poverty and crime. Median household income sits near $54,000, with more than 20% of residents living in poverty. Employment leans heavily on healthcare, education, government, anchored by Johns Hopkins University. Yet despite these strong employers, opportunity gaps remain wide. Daily life in Baltimore is a story of extremes. Waterfront cafes, baseball games at Camden Yards, and cultural events create vibrant experiences. Yet residents are equally aware of gun violence, boarded up row houses, and underfunded schools. Police presence is visible, but trust between communities and law enforcement has long been strained. Baltimore is a city where resilience thrives amid challenges. It offers
You got the pickup.
affordability, history, and culture, but crime casts a heavy shadow, shaping daily choices for families who call it home. Number 6. Oakland, California. Oakland, sitting across the bay from San Francisco, has long been known for its cultural energy, diverse population of about 430,000, and artistic scene. But behind the murals, music, and waterfront charm lies one of America's toughest crime realities. Violent crime here is consistently among the highest in California, averaging around 1,300 per 100,000 residents, nearly 4 times the U.S. average. Homicide numbers often hover between 100 to 120 annually, while robberies and aggravated assaults keep police stretched thin. Property crime is rampant, more than 6,000 per 100,000, making car break-ins a near daily occurrence. In Oakland, residents often say, "Don't leave anything visible in your car, even if it's just a bag of chips." Housing costs make the situation worse. The median home price is about $765,000, while average rent for a 2-bedroom sits near $2,900. Wages don't always match. Median household income is around $85,000, which sounds strong, but in the Bay Area, it barely covers basics. Once taxes, housing, and transportation are factored in, poverty still affects about 14% of residents, and the wealth gap between neighborhoods is sharp. Oakland's economy is tied to shipping and the Port of Oakland, healthcare, tech spillover from Silicon Valley, and education. Still, job growth struggles to keep pace with skyrocketing living costs, forcing many long-term residents out. Day-to-day life can be paradoxical. Families enjoy Lake Merritt, Edmund Heights, and world-class food, but they also budget for security cameras and higher insurance. Police dangerous constant, and frustration. Oakland remains a city of extremes, vibrant, resilient, culturally rich, but weighed down by crime and costs. It's a place where opportunity and risk coexist on the same block. Number 5. Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock, Arkansas, with a population of about 202,000, looks like a modest southern capital with affordable living and a slower pace of life. Yet, its crime statistics tell another story. Violent crime here sits at around 1,500 per 100,000 residents, among the highest in the nation, giving locals a 1 in 70 chance of becoming victims of assault, robbery, or worse. Property crime isn't far behind, reaching over 5,200 per 100,000, which means burglaries, break-ins, and thefts are routine in many neighborhoods. On paper, affordability draws people in. Median home price is just $200,000, while average rent hovers around $1,050, far below the national average. But low costs come with heavy trade-offs. Median household income is only about $53,000, with more than 20% of residents living below poverty levels. High poverty and limited economic opportunity feed into the city's crime scene, making neighborhoods feel unsafe despite affordable housing. The economy relies on healthcare, government, and some corporate headquarters, but job opportunities are limited compared to larger metros. Many families face stagnant wages, pushing them to juggle multiple jobs